Back at it once again. It is the Questions Hip Hop Podcast. Every week, we are bringing you deep dives, conversations, interviews, thought exercises. And this year, or this week rather, we were talking about years, in the spirit of meta. My theory is that we are mining data for Mark Zuckerberg to show what we looked like 10 years ago so that they can train their AI to do age progression better. Everybody was posting photos and videos of themselves from 2016, and I was like, we should draft the year 2016. So that is what we are here to do today. My name is Sean Kantrowitz. I'm your host. I am joined as well by MidaZ the BEAST.
Huh.
MidaZ, how are you? Live from Orlando.
Yeah. Nah, man. When you came through with the let's do 2016. We're in this space now where these years don't stick in your brain the same way they did when you say 95, 96, 97, 98, 02. So you're like, let's do 2016. I'm like, the fuck happened in 2016? Like, I don't know what happened in 2016. Went back and did a little research and digging into where I was that year, what was going on, and it's an interesting year. Interesting
Yeah,
year.
MidaZ, anything to plug? I feel like we don't do plugs enough, and now that we're doing this, I'm like, we need to. It's 2026. We got to start promoting and upholding the projects we're working on. So, what do you have going on, MidaZ? That people should
Two
know about.
things. This upcoming Wednesday, I'm doing a listening party for my next album with Brother Sharp. Album is called The DuPont Registry. We're doing a listening party at the Commission Beer Chamber this Wednesday. I'm in
This will
Orlando.
probably be past tense by the time it airs, but
Correct.
you'll have
Correct.
been there. You know about the
But
listening party.
it's
It was
important
lit.
to talk about the listening party because I don't know when the album coming out. I just know we listening to it. You know what I'm
Got
saying? We about to listen to it. When it come out, I don't know. So this will be timely still for that. And then the other thing is what is coming out next Wednesday, which it'll be past tense or whatever on the 28th, will be me and Tri-State. Shout out my brother Tri-State. Me and Tri-State mixtape called Operation Scale Flip. So that's getting ready to drop. So I got mad shit going on this year, but that's what I'm gonna start with.
Amazing, amazing. She's no stranger to the show, but she has not been on the show since 2020, which felt in my head. I feel like 2020 was not that long ago. 2020 was now 6 years ago. How's this possible? I don't know. The
Yeah.
passage of time is a construct. Lyric Jones is back on the show. So happy to have you, Lyric. Welcome back.
Hi. Oh, anything for you, Sean. It's a pleasure
So
to be back.
we've run into each other. We've hung a lot in real life, IRL, as the kids say. But this is our second time back in the digital space. Lyric, you are impeccable artist, DJ, musician, now a college professor. Can we talk a little bit about that? Let the people know what's going on in the world of Lyric Jones.
Yes, yes. Well, funny enough, Sean, I actually have been teaching for quite a bit. I was teaching a lot of different classes at Musicians Institute in Hollywood. I was teaching songwriting, artist development, rap techniques, live performance, like a whole bunch of different things. In fact, I know you're a fan of Closer Than They Appear, my album. I have a bar on there on the Little Brother song "Cruising" where I say Professor Jones took the formula, the
That's right.
Sherman. So
Yeah.
I've been professing, for a little bit, but I took quite a hiatus. I actually didn't think I would get back teaching. You know, just took I just took quite a bit. They didn't put me back on the schedule, and then I just stopped doing it until this year. UCLA has warmly welcomed me there as the songwriting lecturer there, and much more courses that I will be teaching in the future. Hopefully, some ensembles. So I'm very happy to be at UCLA. They gave me such a warm welcome, and just happy to impart my wisdom to the babies, the children of the future. So it's been fun, and I have a lot of rope to do a lot of things. So I just am excited about it.
Amazing. And we were speaking off camera before. You're also, by the time this airs, this will be a thing known in the world. I was living under a rock, apparently, because I was asking you about it. I will allow you to embarrass me twice now, off camera and on camera. But you have a new show that's also coming out.
Yes, no, I'm not gonna let you beat yourself up because it has not come out yet. It's just the teaser and everything, but I am releasing my new interview-based content series called Hidden Laces. The name is because as a drummer and a DJ, I started noticing my fellow drummers and DJs are always really fly. They always have fly kicks on, and there's always something in the way. There's a drum set covering them or a booth or something. So it just sparked a dope idea to say, you know what? Nah, we're going to bring you front and center. I want to talk more about your fashion game, what's comfortable to wear when you're doing your gigs or when you're getting ready for a show. And also to embellish on, music topics, fashion, sports, all the things that I love to talk about. So our first guest is Mr. Sonny James, based out of Philly. Actually, he's in LA, but from Philly.
He will forever be Philly.
I'll forever be a Philly bull. You know what I mean? What better way to kick it off, my show with one of my really, really good friends and my colleague. And, I'm just excited to shine a light on Sonny, because Sonny is multifaceted like me. And he's your favorite DJ's favorite DJ. So I'm gonna say that. And more to come. So I had a fun time at NAMM this weekend and getting some man on the street shoe game interviews to kind of promote it. So you're not that late, Sean. You're not that late.
Being nicer now, when it was off record, or she said, "Are you living under a rock?" So I just want to point out the duality here. But whatever, fine. I'll take it.
Well-
I'll take it. We're talking about colleagues. We're talking about people who are close to us. Optiks is back on the show. Optiks, I think you may be you probably have been on the most episodes as a co-host, guest, producer extraordinaire, playing basketball in the snow. The man cannot be tamed by any elements. Optiks, what's going on in your world? Tell the people what we should know about.
Man, yeah, I'm doing great. Main thing creatively is, last year, or I guess end of 2024, if we're gonna be real, put out an album with Psalm 1, is this a safe space? And so check that out. And then also Louis the Prophet just put out his album Bandcamp Only, When It Counts. It's produced by me and Joe Skeen. And maybe that'll be on streaming at some point, but for now, hit the Bandcamp and you can listen, or you can really just buy it. That'd be the
No shade for the Bandcamp only releases. I think that this is the way that everybody should be going.
Yeah, that's what me and Psalm did for about a month before it dropped on streamers. And Lou, he's gonna let it rock a little longer.
Oh, Louis. Oh my goodness. It's my guy right there.
Oh, you know Louis?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
word. That's the homie. That's like one of my.
Louis used to be in a group. What was it, Pangea? I think it was Pangea or something. I may be messing this up, but I think he was in like a group back in the day. But yeah, I love Louis the Prophet. Good people.
Amazing. Well, I don't really have much to plug at the moment. I got, except for the game, you know what I'm saying? You could pick up the game, go to questions, hiphop.com.
Mine's to the left.
Look, everybody on this call has this game. They can.
I do. I'm looking for it in my desk right now. I'm like, where is it?
Do you want us to all hold it up? There. I can do it. It's right there.
Yeah, no, everybody's got one. You should get one too. More things coming in the podcast space here. Some new iterations of the questions coming in 2026. Still pushing the people to rock with FYI.ai. We're doing some great things for the creatives, the AI space. We've got some crazy projects I can't talk about yet that I think everybody on this call probably knows what I'm talking about, but dropping soon. So we did the intros, we did the plugs. We are here to talk about 2016, a year that might mean a lot to a lot of us. Some of us maybe feel a little disconnected from it. I got to say, MidaZ, I was telling you, I did not, when we did the 2005 draft, I went in being like, 2005 was not a great year for hip hop. I don't know what we're going to do. And I came out of it with a greater appreciation. So I'm hoping that we can chew on some things and maybe have some good discourse and talk about 2016 this time around. We have opted to go with a bit of a broader format. So we are going to be going in 4 categories. Each of us will have 4 total picks. The only rules that we have here is that we can't repeat artists or albums. So if something has been eliminated or called already, you got to, drop and go with an alternate. The 4 categories that we're drawing from are the core components of 2016. That is what is something that, you know, you can't talk about 2016 without mentioning this artist, album, movement, concept, however you want to take it. We also have the personal pick / personal taste. This is your chance to sort of shout out your own nuanced, perhaps niche underdog pick of something that you think needs to be spotlighted from 2016. We've got the leave it behind in 2016 pick. This is the thing that you are so glad that we left in 2016 and won't be coming back. And then the bring it back in 2016 category. This is the thing that maybe we should revisit and we need more of in 2026 from the year 2016. We're going to do this in a random order. So I actually consulted the AI, and FYI, AI gave us our names, and they have now, the AI has picked what we are going to pull from. It's going to be MidaZ, Optiks, Lyric Jones, and myself going last. So we'll do it as a
right.
We're going to snake draft. So basically, if you go last in the first round, you go first in the second round.
Question.
So, yes.
No pun intended. Where is it? You said a moment, right? It doesn't have to be an album or artist. It can be also a moment that happened in hip hop too, right?
Absolutely. We are going very, very open-ended here because we realized in doing a few of these in the past, we needed to go more open-ended.
Could be a moment, could be an album cover, could be a statement, could be somebody, it could be the J-Lo outfit, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be whatever floats your fancy on that.
It's a good year, man, for me.
Yeah.
That was a good year.
Okay. Well then let's get into it. MidaZ, you're up first
I'm about to take y'all out the gate because it didn't seem like there was a million, you know, when I went, I didn't see a million things in 2016. Right? I was like, damn, 2016, what stuck out to me? And that's when it hit me. Fucking The Life of Pablo, bro. That Ye album was 2016. And that to me, that Ye album was a big record, man. I remember all the hoopla around The Life of Pablo. I remember the listening party. You know what I'm saying? And what Optiks, he did the listening party in like Madison Square Garden or some shit.
He did MSG.
Right?
Local New York venue, small venue.
He had the ill Life of Pablo sweater. I remember, you know, Pusha T next to him, and they was playing the joints on the joint. I remember he was he did like a thing where where the fans was trying to guess the name of the album or something like that, like before it was called The Life of Pablo. You know, that album was probably in my opinion, the last. This is gonna sound crazy because I was gonna say like the last sane Ye, but he wasn't sane then either. So like, but it was like the last. It was like the last like before he went ultimate crazy Ye.
The last glimmer of sanity.
He was committed to UCLA that year.
Well,
I remember that.
What part of the year was he committed? Because maybe this came out before then.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think it did.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like since then he's completely gone off the deep end, right? Like it's gone in a lot of different ways we didn't expect. But this was like the last of like a quote unquote like close to a normal sounding Ye to some extent. And then I remember like even that gets pushed because the album had it had like the evergreen concept where he was like, yeah, the album's out, but like I'm about to change lyrics and I'm about to change a beat and I'm about to change a track list.
Well,
so you're like, wait, what
it was the infamous
the
tweet that was, I'm a fix wolves, which was like, you know, it had been put out and he was going to change it. It's funny you bring it up because this eliminates it now, but this was going to be my pick from something that I wanted to leave behind, which is this exactly. Finish the album and then put it out. I don't want like a notes draft that you're editing in real time when I already have it on my phone. I'm going to hop in here for a second. I don't want to cut you off, Midas, but you know, this is the back and forth we have. I got into some heated debates with people about this album because I'll say that I was not as enamored with it as a lot of my peers. I do think it does have some great moments, and I totally can understand picking it as a core moment of 2016 because it just dominated so much of the discourse. But I remember specifically having a pretty heated debate with Cap Callis. I remember where I was. I was in my car on the phone with him, and he was telling me like, "This is one of the best Ye albums. What are you talking about?" I was like, "Bro, this is gonna age like sour milk." And I will say that, again, outside of a couple songs that I might run back from time to time, this is not my favorite Ye. This feels to me like demos, like kind of like work in progress. And I understand that maybe that was the conceit that he had behind it, but I also think that this is the sound of a man unraveling and perhaps not being able to commit to finishing things. So yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm not trying to shit all over your pick
what I
here,
will
but
say is, although it's not my favorite Ye album by any stretch of the imagination, does have one of my favorite Ye songs on it.
what's that?
Which is 30 Hours, which I love. You know what I'm saying? And there's some highlights on this album that are pretty high. So yeah,
More
that's
parties in
probably
LA.
No More Parties
No
in
More Parties
LA.
in LA.
Actually, I was out in LA we went to a party. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's the concept didn't stick.
Yeah.
I like Real Friends.
The
I
beat
feel
did,
like
though.
Real Friends was good.
It might be the last Kanye song that I can like enjoy. Look, I just want to be clear. I'm completely separating this from like any of the antics. I was not rocking with Ye on a musical level before I was not rocking with him on a decency level, on a character level, I guess. But no, this was an important moment. I'm not mad at that as your pick.
So that's what I'll take.
Lyric, you've been very quiet. Any thoughts on Ye, Pablo? No, say no.
Talk about Kanye.
Got it.
Disrespectfully.
That is a good practice. I might need to pull that practice out because it's rough out here when you pull Kanye out.
To talk about 2016 and not mention him is tough because it was kind of thin that year.
It was.
Not for me.
A big deal that year.
Yeah. We're talking about the culture as a whole. Like it wasn't big for me other than like him.
There was a lot that happened that was not Kanye related. But that's why we have this segment, right? Like to kind of shine light on it. So
right.
Yeah, he was getting on my nerves all year. I'll say that.
All right. So that is your pick. Optiks, what is your pick for your core moment of 2016?
It's funny. I had a whole list and I'm like, I got to just narrow this down to one of these things. So, I mean, core of 2016 to me really gets down to two, but I'm going to give it to the more specific kind of, actually, you know what? Fuck that. I'm giving it to the producer. I'm a producer. Metro Boomin.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the biggest song from the Kanye, Father Stretch My Hands, produced by Metro Boomin. Biggest song of the year, Bad and Bougie, Metro Boomin. Yeah, at the end of the year, that Post Malone song I didn't really care for, but that shit was huge. And yeah, I mean, just a lot of the best. He had an album with 21 Savage that was big. So I mean, I feel like this was like the peak year of him being like the hottest producer that was out on a mainstream level.
Damn, I forgot about Bad and Bougie coming out that year. Bad and Bougie was a monsoon.
Yeah.
Was a big one.
And I won't ruin what my second pick was. But yeah, I mean, somebody throw that in there, but Metro Boomin produced that. So of course, and I mean, not only was that the biggest song of the year, but it's like, that shit was hard. Like, it's not like the type of shit that I go to. But we heard it so much that year that I didn't have to go listen to it on my own. But when I listened to it like an hour ago on my own, me and my roommate were sitting here like, oh, this is hard. Like, this is dope.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it in years at this point.
Yeah. Bad and Bougie was one of those joints that the Heads was fucking with, just like the Heads was like, even if you was one of them like real grouchy old heads, you could still,
the beat. And this is what I love about Metro Boomin was like, the beat still had some dirt on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that beat absolutely did. And then Offset's verse was crazy.
Yeah. That joint was crazy. Yeah.
It was a great...
didn't need to be on it probably, but I had to skip ahead to his verse because I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, I mean, Uzi did his thing on that too. He kind of came in with the, you know what I mean? Yeah, nah.
But yeah, I had to like remember it. I couldn't remember.
Metro Boomin makes really a great. He is a great producer in not my favorite lane of hip hop, but he is exceptionally great at it. The only other thing I'll add is that equally lodged in my brain because I'm such a ham and like I enjoy comedy is that somebody I remember did a really great mashup of Bad and Bougie with Rick James Super Freak, or it might have been MC Hammer's Can't Touch This, and it works so well. If you haven't seen
I
that,
might have
it's
heard
on
that.
YouTube. You can check it out. It's like fantastic. If you want a decidedly not Metro Boomin take on Bad and Bougie, but it's fun. It's a fun one. All right, so that was your pick. Lyric, you're up next. What is your core 2016?
So, mine's is a little sad, but I can't think of this year without thinking of it. Fife passed in 2016. He passed in April, and that, you know, kind of shattered my world because that was big bro, mentor. And also, I guess it is an album because Thank You for Your Service also dropped that year. So that was very impactful for me as a hip hop head as well because Tribe got back together, put an
Yes.
album out. And then we kind of lost Fife. A lot happened in 2016, but when I think back about that year, I think about the funeral at, Apollo. That was my first time seeing D'Angelo live as well.
Mm.
I also was in New York and, during that time. So Fife kind of was like a nucleus. His passing was a nucleus around a lot of things that kind of happened. So I'm a big Tribe head. So all this other stuff is accessories to me when I think about it because Fife kind of was it, you know? Um, so that was, to me, I can't really think about 2016 without thinking about that and Tribe getting back together.
Man, when Tribe, the crazy thing is the Tribe album dropped right around the election too, and so it
Yeah.
just felt like such a crazy time. I remember like the SNL performance and how they brought down the banner of Fife when they did the space program, the song from the first song off of We Got It From Here, Thanks for Your Service. It was a really like powerful moment. They had Busta up there in Consequence, and
I remember that.
yeah,
Mhm.
that was like that was actually one of my contenders for 2016
One
core.
of mine too.
Yeah, and they, shout out to Tribe. I think doing like the posthumous album, because if I'm remembering correctly, the album dropped after Five passed,
Yeah.
right?
It was like
Yeah,
everything. They were in promo mode. They were like on,
right.
like in a whole promo rollout. They were back together. We were seeing rehearsals and
Yeah,
I was just like, yes, I was just so happy.
right.
March, boom,
That's right.
that. And that's first quarter. That started the year off. So for me, it was just like, although 2016, we're gonna get into the other rounds where I'm gonna kind of elaborate more on this, but it had a lot of peaks and valleys for me personally. So
Sure.
that was such a low moment. But then like the next month, I had a very high moment.
Yeah.
Then it was like, oh, I wish Pipe was here, and then it was sad, then it was up, then it was down. But that definitely is something that I cannot that cemented 2016 for me is both things happening in the same year, the album plus Five passing.
Yeah. We talk about the Tribe album, we've talked about it a bit, and well, actually, I don't even know. My brain gets so blurry now, like, did I talk about this on a podcast or just talk about this with one of my friends? But the Tribe album is a really great, moment of blending that, posthumous albums can be weird, sometimes they're not done the best, like, the way that they utilized Fife's voice, and contributions on that record, I don't know how much if they would have done more, I assume that they would have because obviously Fife's not on every song. But the way that the album is put together, he really is there. He's like a big factor of the album, and I really admired that. For Tribe to put out an album that was so good after so long since their last album and used all of the components in the way that they honored Fife and Fife, but it wasn't just like Fife on some like, oh, he's not here. He's on so many of the songs, and the interplay with him and Tip is like amazing. So I really that Tribe album definitely hit me in all the right ways when it dropped.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Fife.
Rest in peace, Fife.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Yes. All right, so I'm coming up now with my core, and Tribe was at the top of mine, so I'm gonna have to go with my second pick. Um, Anderson .Paak dropped what I believe may be the best album of his career, Malibu.
Yeah.
Malibu is a perfect record to me, and it's funny. I was sort of around and in the Aftermath camp in the previous year, 2015, because I was working and I wound up being on the Compton album, and I was basically there when this guy with long hair, with he had the braids, started coming through. It's like, oh, this is this guy Anderson. He's gonna sing maybe a couple songs or something. Album comes out. Anderson is on almost every freaking song on the album, and that was interesting to see that. I kind of knew a little bit about him, but I wasn't super up on him at that point. And
Breezy
obviously,
Lovejoy.
Breezy Lovejoy, yep. Some of the No Worries, like Suede was already starting to percolate in that way. I remember that Malibu came out in January of 2016.
Sure did.
And it to me was such an amazing album that solidified him as a voice, as an artist, as a songwriter, as an instrumentalist, as one of the best live performers that I had seen in quite some time. I'm sure, Lyric, you can appreciate this, drumming while singing, drumming while rapping. Look, I don't care. It's not like he's the first to have done it. There certainly have been others before and since, but people who can do that well, it's it's a spectacle. It's a feat to see. And I just loved, I remember when I think one of the first songs that I heard off of that album was the song with Game that was produced by the Room in Here song. And I was like, this album is going to be crazy. That is just one of my favorites from the album. Anderson .Paak. I'm going to give it to Anderson .Paak and Malibu. He erupted onto the scene and clearly has had a very fruitful career since Malibu.
Word. Can we add honorable mentions if something wasn't mentioned, or
we'll do honorable mentions at the end? We'll slide them in. Yeah.
Okay, somebody said.
So I'm mad at you, brother, because I definitely had Anderson .Paak on my list here, and now he's been taken off the board. But the problem is, me, I had No Worries on the joint. And
yeah,
Sean and I, for the listeners, Sean and I have argued for many millennia, Malibu versus No Worries. Because I remember Sean calling me yo, have you heard this Malibu? And Sean is the one who introduced me to Anderson .Paak. I wasn't up on that, and he was just really hype on Malibu. Yo, check this Malibu shit out. Now, here's what's really interesting about this. I didn't hear No Worries in 2016. I didn't hear No Worries until 2020, probably. I was off the radar for that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I don't like Malibu very much. So when Sean played Malibu for me, I was like, all right. It didn't move me. And it didn't move me so much that I wasn't checking for right. Lyric was down.
Lyric checked out.
It didn't move me so much that I wasn't checking for no Anderson .Paak. So when No Worries came out, it was like, what's No Worries? I was like, oh, Knowledge is dope. I was like, but it's Anderson .Paak. I'm kind of straight. And I just didn't even check it. I had no interest. I think probably in late 20, I heard, that's when I heard Suede. And I was like, this is stupid. What the fuck is this? And I was like, this came out 4 years ago? What the fuck? And then I went back and did the Knowledge. And No Worries is...
No pun intended, you did the Knowledge?
I did the Knowledge. You know what I mean? No Worries for me is No Worries inhabits this. This is going to sound blasphemous, but it inhabits the same space for me as how I felt about hearing Voodoo. I love Yes Lord. Yes Lord is I don't know. It hits a metronome for me. So I had Yes Lord on there, but and I totally forgot in good old fashioned that Malibu was the same year as well. I wasn't looking for it. I still haven't really gone back to Malibu.
Okay, I was going to ask if you warmed up to it, but you haven't even revisited it at this point. I'd be curious to know if now that you're really more in the No Worries camp, that maybe they are very different records, but I will just wonder if you would favor it more now.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I've never been as my albums would tell you, I'm not like a big like instrumentalist guy. Like I'm a dirty sample guy. You know what I'm saying? So like if an album it has a lot of if it's produced by a band, I'm probably not that interested, most likely. You know, generally speaking, because that's not really my vibe. So that I think from a production standpoint, it's more of what didn't really tickle my fancy.
That was
Interesting.
kind of the same for me. Like, I like Malibu, but I didn't listen to it a lot.
Yeah.
But Anderson .Paak was everywhere that year. Like, I remember being at South by Southwest and
He was
stuff.
all over Compton, but that was what, the year
Yeah, well,
before,
that
right?
was before,
Yeah.
but then, yeah, like, South by Southwest, he was everywhere, and caught him at the Stones Throw anniversary show, and that was dope. But, yeah, pardon the, snowplows probably on the audio. Um, but, yeah, that was he was on my list before I, like, whittled it down to try to pick my pitching core moment or core.
Let's not forget that 2016 was also the year that he did the Tiny Desk on NPR, which might be the best Tiny Desk. Maybe half of you are not going to agree with me now that you've aired your Malibu hatred and broken compasses on this. But yes, the Malibu or the Anderson Tiny Desk is impeccable. And, you know, I think just really showed. I think I wound up seeing Anderson maybe twice in LA that year. And it was just like, okay, he's really good. Like he's a great
He's a
performer.
special talent.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna move through. I swear, lyric. I thought you were about to pull like, yo, I'm driving through a tunnel right now. I'm losing my signal. I can't hear all of this Malibu hatred.
Yeah, I'm heartbroken because you know Anderson .Paak is like my twin flame artistically, so he can do no wrong. He was very. It's hard for me to be like inspired and get goosebumps from up here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But when I see Anderson, when Anderson .Paak hit the scene, I it was scary because I'm like, damn, he's like me for real, you know. And also really was able to affirm that I can do that. Like there's a lane for that. So him 2016 was a very impactful year. Anderson .Paak was very much a part of that. And funny enough, that Malibu is not my favorite Anderson .Paak album.
Mm.
It's
Go
not.
on.
Yeah, my favorite Anderson .Paak album, I think, is Ventura.
Mm.
Like
Wow.
when he started getting in his groove. I love all the other ones, very heavily feature based. But
Yeah.
bro, you did a song with Smokey Robertson
Yeah,
and
that's my
Layla
favorite.
Hathaway and
Yeah.
Andre 3000 and
Yeah.
Jasmine Sullivan, all on the same, and Nate Dogg and
Right.
Brandy. Like everything else can sit there, and I love everything he does, but I'm just like Ventura blew me away. It's like the fact that you're outdoing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just hard after the fourth album to do that. So Malibu set the tone, but it's not even my favorite. It's
Mm.
like Ventura is my favorite. So yeah, love
Okay.
Anderson, love AP.
That's how
Yeah,
you could tell when you're a really phenomenal artist when everybody likes a different project, though.
for
You know,
Right.
sure,
like
for sure.
the it's not like, oh yeah, it's Illmatic only. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could like this one, you could like that one, and that's just the mark of like he's a fucking genius.
Are
Definitely.
you an It Was Written guy?
I am a It Was Written guy.
But we knew
Uh,
what you meant. We knew
yeah,
what you meant.
yeah, yeah.
All right. We're gonna move on to our second round. Personal picks, personal taste. Ooh, I got a few, and some of them have kind of been eliminated. All right. I'm prepared. This is what this category is about, and I am sick of going through this through life as a hip hop head, and I have to keep this guy in certain circles as like almost a dirty secret because I just know so many people don't rock with him, and he honestly is the outlier to most of my personal taste because the shit that I really like kind of occupies one space, and then there is somebody who I love that does not occupy the same space, and that's got to be in 2016. Stop Rock put an album out called The Impossible Kid, and I think it is the best thing that he has ever done. Now, I say this, I understand, and I think I've had conversations with at least two of you on this call, that he is a difficult pill to digest. But he self-produced this album. He kind of unlocked a different style where he dodged the overtly verbose and kind of jam-packed rapping cadence that he normally did. And to me, if I was gonna give anybody a like, oh, I want to get into this guy, I want to like listen to more of his music, where do I start? I would start with this album. He's also kind of one of the few rappers that I know who seems to be getting better as he enters the third decade of his career, which I don't see a lot. I don't know if anybody else is going to chime in on this with me. If you have any questions about A$AP Rock, I'll be happy to answer them right now. But A$AP Rock, Impossible Kid is my pick.
Sure, man.
No,
I remember,
so
I
fucking
remember
excited.
hearing some of it, and like I thought it was good. I definitely thought it was some of the best stuff I had heard from him. And I think did I have a track with him and Sandman that year? Was Lice 2016 or was that that might have been 2015?
I don't remember what year Lice came out, but that was the project you had to join on.
Yeah, I
A$AP
like
Rock
the one
before
that I
Sandman.
did better.
Word.
Yeah, no, good pick. I'm trying. You know what's funny is like obviously this round I'll talk personal picks, but like I was trying to think outside of myself for the rest of these, like kind of think collectively about what
Yeah.
was happening in the year. But yeah, for this one, yeah, sure. How can we shit on your personal pick? It's your personal pick, even
That's
if
a pick.
it's yeah, cool.
It's not about you shitting on my personal pick. It's my disappointment that I can't really talk to you about my personal pick, because I feel like you guys are all like, cool, we haven't heard it and we won't. But he's dope. Look, I challenge you. Listen to the album. It's its own
He's a
flavor.
dope
It's not
producer
gonna.
too.
It's
Like I
it's
remember
not gonna mix
like
in
his
with like
beats.
other
Sorry,
shit.
Sean.
Like it's its own isolated experience. But he has become an excellent producer slash MC. I don't think there's even any features on the record. It's just all him front to back. So it is an album worth checking out.
Yeah.
So
I don't know shit about A$AP Rock. So
Me neither.
shout him out though. Salute. You know what I'm saying? I expect that. You know what? This is what I'll say. I probably didn't give A$AP Rock a real enough chance. And it's too late now, unfortunately.
Never too late.
Nah, it's too late. It's cooked. But if the reason I didn't give it enough of a chance probably was who the deliverer of the "you should listen to this" was for me back in the day.
Yes.
And if it came from that guy, I was like, yeah, nah, I'm not checking that. I'm out. And yeah, nah, it's cooked. So, but salute.
Let's talk about the literal and figurative white elephant in the room here. He definitely was, especially in the start of his career, like early 2000s, the poster child of, I don't listen to rap, but I love, and it's always a white artist, and it's always people who are like, do you even know about the other foundational people that like you should be knowing about? Like, is your taste sus? You know, all of that. MidaZ, I'm gonna make you a mixtape. That's what we're gonna have to do.
A$AP, Sage Francis, put all that shit on there.
I can't even vouch for all of that in the same way. And like a lot of these guys I respect, you know, and like Sage has been on the show, you know, Slug from Atmosphere has been on the show, Blueprint has been on the show. All these people from like that sort of Def Jux, Rhyme Sayers, like I like a lot of that music. Not all of it is necessarily up my alley. I fuck with a lot of them as people. A$AP Rock has not been on the show. He, I think, has only ever done one podcast in his entire career. I, at one point, was exchanging emails with him asking if he would come do Can't Knock the Shuffle. And we went back and forth, and he kept sort of saying, I want to. It was like trying to get a cat to come out from under a car. Like he was like sort of into it, but he would not commit. And I eventually just stopped. But I'm gonna slide some choice picks. The last thing I'll say, what I really like, and he started to do more of this around this time, his earlier work was very much like, okay, it's very abstract. You're almost going to have to search for meaning in the lyrics. Around this time, he started making songs that were very literal and very about specific things. Like he has a song that's just about the anxiety that he feels when he goes to his therapist. He's got a song about his cat and how getting a cat changed his life. He's got a song on this record where
That's why
3 instances that have sort of taught him like, oh, I'm old now. I'm in my 40s and like I am now reckoning with the idea that I'm in my 40s. So I like very specific topical rap when I can get it. And you know, this was a showcase for that. So Aesop Rock, The Impossible Kid is my pick.
Yeah.
Lyric Jones, back to you for your personal.
Mine's is very selfish, because I was lit in 2016. This was the year I dropped the Ski Mask Way with Rod Digger, and we came
Woo!
on tour. So this was the first tour, not the first tour I've been on, but this was the first tour like I put together. So I was booking agent, promoter, headliner of my own tour with the Queen, Rod Digger. And we dropped the Ski Mask Way and did a whole 30 city tour off of a single. So that was very impactful, and I'm very proud of that record. That was all over Sirius. When I mentioned going to New York, I was on a promo run and I hit Sweat, I did the Doomsday Cypher, I did Stag Selector show, I did Tony Touch's show, and did all that in the same week, right around where Ski Mask Way came out. So that kind of garnered me a lot of fans that year with Digger's fan base and going on tour with that. So that's my personal pick because Ski Mask Way.
DJ Eclipse did the cuts on that too,
He
right?
sure did. Yep, and
Amazing.
Backpack Beats on the beats. He's out of Chicago now. He was a college student in Florida when we did that beat. Honorable mention too, we shot a whole music video in Atlanta with this. And the photographer, videographer ghosted us. So I'm still very, very angry about that. If I see him on the street, it's up.
It's
Because
on.
how do you have, like it's catch these hands. How do you fucking do a video with Rod Digger and Lyric Jones and you don't want to put that out? Like I had a lot of momentum at that moment too to like get in on what was at the time, like Vivo and all that shit.
Yeah.
BET videos. So I was really trying to capitalize that. And yeah, just didn't give us the shits. We had like AR-15s and guns in the video, masked up. Like I was just straight thugging, you know? But
wow.
yeah, that was a very, very big. So shouts out to Rod Digger, first name Rashia, Digger.
Were you close with her before you did the tour, or did you guys really get close on the tour?
We were close before. So I met Rod in 2010 when she dropped Classic. Was it Classic? Yeah, Dirty Harriet was 2000.
Yeah, Dirty Harriet was
way before. Yeah. So Classic with Knots. Right. And I met her in these Atlanta rap streets, and she kind of just, always just keeping her eye on me from afar on Twitter at the time. It was just that, but Twitter world. And when I moved to LA, she was one of the first people I hit up. She was active online, and I was just like, where's the hip hop community here? Like, where are they at? I didn't know Razcast then. I didn't know Planet Asia then. I didn't know Tri-State then. I didn't know any of the homies that I know now. So I was in Atlanta, there was community for me. I was always on a microphone, always on stage. And I got to LA, and for years, I was just kind of doing the live band open mic stuff. I was finding where the R&B and the jazz, and I was singing and hopping on drums and stuff. And I was like, where's the hip hop heads at? So 2014, Tri-State, shouts out to Tri-State, and Digger co-headlined the show. And that started everything. She put me on that show. She told the promoter to put me on there as an opener. And that kind of fast-tracked our friendship. She came back. I invited her back to LA. I did my own show here where she was the headliner, and she stayed the night at my crib. And that's where we recorded the Ski Mask Way. So that's how we got close, and to the point where she'd even want to go on a tour with a little up and coming rap chick at the time. That's big sis by then. So yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
just met Rod Digger for the first time last year before last.
Okay.
Did a show, yeah, did a show with my little bro K Burns and Piff James in New York, and Digger hosted the show, which was pretty dope. And she's real dope. I mean, first of all, she's fucking Rod Digger. Like,
It's
the
Rod
fuck
Digger.
is
Yeah.
we ever talk about?
Rod Digger.
She's also like a really dope like person to have a conversation with and all that kind of shit. Like she's ill, but she's also ill. So there's that too. So big shout out Rod Digger.
Iron sharpens iron. Our show was a problem. We was bending microphones all year, and the year so started 2016. The end of 2016 is when we started the tour, and then we lived out the rest of the tour through 2017. Yeah, really good year for music. I was peak barism right there. I was fresh off the Cali Agents tour, and I wanted to go back on the road, and that was my excuse. I also quit my job that year too.
Hey, shout out to that. Love that. Not mad at a personal. That was truly a personal pick.
Very
So
much.
yeah,
It's
into
music
that.
that came out. It's hip hop.
Hey, read the fine print. It qualifies. It works on multiple levels. Yeah. Optiks, you're up. What's your pick?
Man, so I feel like this is actually one of the thinnest years of like albums and that I listened to. But the last CD, I'm pretty sure it's the last CD I bought in a store, was Schoolboy Q Blank Face. And
that album crazy.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
I mean, great's a strong word, but it's a really good album. Like, I really enjoyed it. He stepped his shit up a lot. I feel like it's probably his best album. And what was crazy, it was like a depressing moment too, because I told you it's the last album I bought in a store. And I remember
Right.
going to the Best Buy by my job, and it was just kind of like I was driving around for my job. So it's like, oh, let me go buy this CD. We have a CD player in the truck. I'm gonna this will be my investment in my day right here, buying this CD. And they didn't even have it out. They had to like go in the back and see if they had it. And I was like, wait, like a major release came out at the beginning of the week. This was Saturday, and you didn't even bother to take it out of the box yet. And it was kind of crushing, actually. But the album is dope. A lot of dope production. I mean, I'm always, he's somebody who can talk about nothing and it sounds amazing.
That's
And Metro
Yeah,
Boomin has a really slept on joint on there. Dope deal with E40 is one of my favorite songs.
I gotta look that album up.
That's the
because
album with that part on it, right?
Yeah, that part's the
Mhm.
single.
That part.
Yeah, he had a couple joints on that.
Featuring the artist who will no longer be named now that we got him out of the way. But yeah, that part, like the song Big Body with Dog Pound is great. Like Tyler did that beat and that was great. Dookie Knows, just a lot of great production throughout it too, which is always a hallmark of what's gonna get me interested.
Yeah,
This
that
is
joint,
also
yeah,
kind
that
of like
joint,
the
Black
peak.
Thoughts on there. That joint's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a standout too.
This is kind of peak like TDE as well. Like
Yes.
they could do no
Yeah.
wrong at this
Yeah,
time.
Pimp a Butterfly had been the year
fire.
before. Like,
Not
absolutely.
to say that they're not still doing great stuff, but I mean, it's just a different time,
Well, it's a different
time.
group of good people.
This is also
Yeah,
true.
I mean, not entirely. Schoolboy, what was it last? No, it was 2 years ago. Schoolboy dropped an album.
Yeah.
And it was, I really enjoyed that one too.
Well, but it feels like all of those guys graduated from TDE,
Yeah.
and TDE is not those guys anymore. Is what it feels.
Right.
That's probably not accurate, but that's what it feels like. To me, you know
The
what I'm saying?
Schoolboy
Like,
one was still TDE, or was it not? I don't even know.
The current acts on TD are Punch, J Rock, Absol, Schoolboy, SZA, Isaiah Rashad, Lance. I mean, there's a lot of people who
The
are
same
on
boat.
here.
Yeah, SZA's
well, no,
kind
but
of,
it but it
he's more
doesn't.
okay.
When in 2016 and 2015 and when you said TDE, you thought of 4 people. You thought of Black Hippie.
Like
You know,
hippie.
like You didn't think, and then when you say TDE now, you think Isaiah Rashad, you think of SZA, it's not, and I don't even think Kendrick at all. Like, because I don't think I don't feel like Kendrick's on TDE or is a
No,
He's
part of
not.
that.
he is
So
literally not.
yeah,
He is
Yeah,
so
he's
not.
it
not.
feels like it just feels different. So to me, this was peak TDE because TDE wasn't the same after this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a whole different. It's an evolved thing, I guess you could say.
When was the last time Schoolboy put out an album? You
No, it was
said
like
2
I think
years
2
ago?
years ago.
consistently.
Was it Blue
Recently.
Slots? Yeah, Blue Slots.
Rec-
That's the song. What's this album? I
Blue
can't think
Lips?
now.
Yeah, it was recently. That shit was tight.
Yeah, really good album, really experimental.
He doesn't do no wrong to me, dog. Like
Yeah.
Schoolboy Q is, I love him. Love him.
Yeah, honestly, that last one might even be better than Blank Face. Like now that I think about it. I like them similarly, actually.
Okay. So that's the personal. MidaZ, yeah, close out this round. What is your personal pick?
Boy,
Since you body slammed my Yes Lord, and I'm not gonna be able to pull that out, which I'm very frustrated about. 2016 was the year of Fly God. What are we talking about?
I was like, if somebody don't
Wow.
mention Gun,
And let me tell you how ill West Side Gun is. Shout out West Side Gun. Let me tell you how ill West Side Gun is. Planet Asia comes to my house. I want to say this is 14 maybe, 2013 maybe. This is my little apartment, and this is Hitler 1 era. So he comes to my house, and we do the thing that we always do, which is play joints back to back. Yo, you heard this? Yo, you heard this? Yo, you heard this? And we talking. He's like, yo, you ever heard of West Side Gun? And I'm like, nah. He's like, if you know Planet Asia, then he starts yelling, you never heard of West Side Gun? You ever heard of West Side Gun? Nah, nigga. So, yo, pull this shit up right now. So he pulls up www.westsidegun.com. And when you went to westsidegun.com, Hitler Wears Hermes 1 it was like a Bandcamp page, but it wasn't a Bandcamp. It was like a player. And the album was there, and he was like, yo, this shit crazy. He's playing it for me. And I'm like, this is wild. Like, what is this? Like, like I'm bugging out. So became a fan of West Side Gun and all that type of shit, whatever. Year or two later, me and some other guys, we was at A3C. I think West Side Gun and Conway did a show at A3C. Might have been 24 people at the show. This is a big difference from nowadays, but wasn't nobody there, and Gunn and Conway were doing their thing, and, got a chance to chop it with both of them, at the show, and was like, yo, whatever. I think West Side Gun was doing some videos with the guy who did my videos. He was doing videos with Varys Tower. So there was a little bit of a connection there. So it was really cool. All right, so let's get to 2016. 2016, well, right before 2016, I'm visiting Atlanta. So I want to say this is 2015. I'm visiting Atlanta. I got my little shorty. We run around Atlanta and all that. We didn't went to the zoo. We done went to the Coca-Cola jump off. We doing all the date night shit or the date day shit. And then we went to the aquarium one day of that weekend. So I'm walking through the aquarium. Now, mind you, I'm a rapper. When I'm in my regular life, I don't necessarily always super look like a rapper. Like I had a regular shirt on and some pants, and I'm just walking around with the shorty, and we're looking at the sharks and all the fly. You said what?
typically you don't wear pants?
Well, but no, but typically I wear like, rapper pants. These are just regular pants. Rapper pants are all big and, I'm just outside. So these were slacks, you could call it.
Lyric has more follow-up questions. I can see here.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
just like, he said I had on pants, and I'm like,
Yeah. Like just regular clothes, like.
You've never seen a
Trousers.
MidaZ show.
Yeah, right. I got to get Lyric to a MidaZ show. We got to make this happen. So walking through the aquarium, and I look to the left, and the girl I'm with is not into hip hop at all. So we're walking, and I look, and I go, "Huh, it's fucking West Side Gun." He's in the aquarium with West Side Pootie, and who looked like maybe his grandmother or the old lady, and there was a bunch of kids, and it was like a whole family affair. But the craziest part about that story is how much like West Side Gun this nigga looked. Like West Side Gun looked extremely like West Side Gun at the aquarium with his family. He had
What
on
kind of pants was he wearing?
super tight jeans, crazy pink sneakers, all types of hat, head, bandana, chains, everything. And I just remember looking about this motherfucker stands out in a crowd like no other person. Like I spotted him from all the way across the room because he's in full character of West Side Gun with his family at the jump off. So I walk up to him and I'm like, yo, you know, West Side Gun. I was like, yo, MidaZ or whatever like that. Dap him up, remember back, met you here, da da da. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We had a quick chop up. But the funniest shit, mind you, he's with his children, and he immediately jumped into, hey, yo, Fly God coming soon. He hit a whole promo for the album to just me in the aquarium. Fly God coming soon, Just Blaze, Pete Rock, da da da. He's naming everybody on the album. He's throwing the whole promo. And I remember walking away from that conversation thinking to myself, like, this dude's gonna be famous. Like, because his ability to be in like pure promo mode at all times was uncanny to me. It didn't matter. It'd be like if Optiks was just like, oh, I'm just gonna go pick up my son from school, and then you walk up to Optiks and he's just fully like, yo, the beat had the, you know what I mean? He's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, where did this all come from out of nowhere? You know what I'm saying? So like I remember just being so blown away by this dude's like energy and his dedication to the character of West Side Gun. And that's when I realized the character of West Side Gun ain't no character. That's just the guy. That's just how he get down. So I had a whole Fly God promo conversation before Fly God dropped, and then Fly God dropped, and it was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Fly God is to me, Fly God is the second most important of the wave of like that Rock Marcy. You know, if you think about Rock Marcy drops Mossberg in 2010, Fly God is part two of that energy of like that wave. You know what I'm saying? As far as new guys coming out of the top of New York and putting real dusty, grimy hip hop out. And Fly God's my favorite West Side Gun album. Even to this day where he's got 713 albums, that's still my favorite one. But yeah, Fly God, man. I think Fly God that year was a super, 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 super important record. And still looking back, it's an important record.
Yeah, I was definitely hoping it didn't fit any of my categories, but I was really like, oh, we need to mention that this was like a really big moment in the ascension of West Side Gun.
And
Because
Griselda, like
I
this
was
was the
very
start.
aware,
Yeah.
but I didn't listen much yet. Even though it's like exactly my kind of shit, I feel like it was so my type of shit that I was almost resistant to it because of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, a couple years later, I bought it.
Yeah. Fly God's crazy.
MidaZ, I never understand how snake drafts work, so I don't know who actually goes next now. Do you go again, or how does this work?
Yeah, the top. Yes, I do go again.
Yes. Okay.
Bumbleclot.
So
MidaZ,
you're going to kick us off with your "Leave It Behind" in 2016. This
oh
is
man,
a bit of our shade throwing or good riddance round category picks.
all right. Look, I got a couple things here. I wrote down 4 options just in case one of you bastards tried to steal one of my shits. So I have like a list of like, I'll go here if Optiks goes here, if Lyrics goes here.
Contingencies.
So now I don't think y'all are gonna say none of these. So now I'm like trying to look at which one I really want to pull out. And this is what I'm gonna go
Embarrassment of
with.
riches.
I'm gonna go with all the way up, Fat Joe. Leave it. Leave it in 2016. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm annoyed by. I've always been annoyed by like the every 7 years resurgence of Fat Joe with one single that's just kind of, like a super obvious single. Like, you know what I'm gonna do? This is how music is done nowadays, and I'm just gonna do a single like that for this set of 7
So
years.
you're against popular songwriting? Like you're against
Listen,
like the craft of
Songwriting
hit making?
teacher, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Listen, I am not big on what feels to me like when you're doing music just to like when you're doing music. How do I explain this? Like, that's not your really kind of music, but what you're really doing is like, oh, this is the popular thing. I'm just gonna do that for this era. Right. So I feel like every 7 years he pulls one of those out of his butt and it's the next joint. So
But
I was
couldn't one contend that if he's doing this every 7 years that this might actually be like his thing? Like he
well, no,
likes
it
making
is his
songs
thing.
for
It's just
a
a thing I
broad
don't like,
audience.
and I want him to leave it in a previous era. Don't do it anymore. Listen, I'm glad he's got the pod because if we never get one more of those type of joints, I'm good money. I don't need another lean back. I don't need another all the way up. I'm Gucci. Like I'm good with all of that. I'm good with we thugging, rolling on Dubsin. I'm good. Leave it all in the past. I don't want no more of them hit Fat Joe singles. So I don't remember if there was another one after this. I feel like All the Way Up was the last of these things that he's done, and I would leave it all the way in 2016. Shout out to Sean.
I mean, one thing about All the Way Up is like, I feel like the motivation for that hadn't Remy just got out of.
That was her first.
Yeah,
was just
so
first.
this was.
Midas doesn't
this was
care.
he bringing
Midas
her
doesn't
back
care.
on.
He has no soft
Banger.
spot in his heart.
Yeah, it was important
Midas is
to
tripping.
reestablish Remy Ma.
Cool and
But
Dre
yeah,
went
I hate
fuck
that song.
off.
Though. So I hated it as soon as I heard it.
I hate it.
Oh, crazy.
I hate commercial hip hop that sounds like you're making commercial hip hop. That's what I hate. If it's a song that gets big commercially because it's a good song, great. But if it's a song that's like, you know what, let's do this and it'll be a hit. Like I don't like that kind of hip hop. It reminds me of my least favorite hip hop song of all time, which we talked about in 2005 episode, which is "Shake Your Tail Feather," which I think is the worst song ever created.
That's worse than All the Way Up.
No, Shake Your Tail Feather is the worst rap song that's ever been created. But it's like, you can just tell when they went in to make Shake Your Tail Feather that they were just like, all right, let's make a #1 hit. Like I'm out on that type of music creation. So yeah, pack that song up. Leave it in 2016.
I don't feel strongly about All the Way Up, but I definitely don't feel as strongly against All the Way Up that you feel. So I can respect your sentiment, but yeah, I guess I don't think about this song that much. I'm going to be curious to revisit when we're done with this your alt picks to see what you might have had.
Yeah. I got a couple here.
All right, Optiks, you're up. What do you want to leave behind in 2016?
SoundCloud.
Okay.
SoundCloud
Speak on
rap.
it.
SoundCloud. I think SoundCloud rap has evolved. So SoundCloud's dead, but that it's still a impactful era on like younger music that's coming out. But yeah, SoundCloud was the I didn't like using the app on my phone. The website was annoying. Like they charged me money and then would play ads on my private playlists. Like pack SoundCloud up. They are packed up. So
right.
They still exist, but like I haven't been to SoundCloud.
It's not the thing anymore. Yeah.
So to be clear, you're not talking about SoundCloud rap as a subgenre. You're saying the literal function, the utility of using SoundCloud.
I am talking about SoundCloud rap too, but I do think SoundCloud rap just migrated. Like I don't think stylistically that's gone.
Where does it live at now? Is it still on SoundCloud?
TikTok.
It's everywhere.
Did SoundCloud become did it go back into being underground again? Did it turn around on itself? Did it
You know,
start to eat?
SoundCloud is 6 feet deep.
It's
Oh
it's
man.
the dub.
Oh,
Like
okay.
with distribution now, it just sends it there. I don't even look to see what's happening. Like when I put out my records, it just goes everywhere. It goes Audio Mac, SoundCloud,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I don't even look over there. I don't even know
You know,
who all over there.
I'll check the box. I'll uncheck the SoundCloud box. Like,
He's
Put
like,
it.
yo,
I want my music everywhere.
Yeah.
yo, that's
Optics,
hilarious. Yeah.
this was the first pick where the dialogue of what you were saying could also double as App Store review. You were like, the
Yeah.
functionality is not great. I was charged twice and I didn't like it.
yeah. Yeah, I think there's like, you know, a lot of stylistic things. You know, there's other things that could get left, but SoundCloud
There's a
definitely
few.
gets left.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand how to operate the website that great. Like stuff would automatically play and it was like kind of doing like a weird like radio station thing, but you didn't know where
Yeah.
these songs came from. Like, yeah,
It
nah.
was
It was
just a
never
good
something I wanted to hear.
Right.
it was a good shareable app if you didn't want to put things on Spotify. Like, and not everybody had the distribution plug
Yeah.
yet years ago. So it's
Right.
like, oh, I dropped my new song. Like, I was with Gold Chain at the time, and we was putting stuff on SoundCloud and YouTube. That was like how to put your shit out. So I hated the rap from there, but I didn't necessarily hate the website or the app because that was how
The
people would find
platform.
me. Yeah. So
Didn't hate the rap, didn't hate the app. You know,
the rap
I
could have
I
stayed somewhere,
yeah.
I
but
actually logged into SoundCloud like a week ago because I've been working on like a MidaZ discography thing. So I was trying to find like everything I've ever put out ever.
yep.
And yeah, and so like I logged in. I was like, I know I put stuff on SoundCloud, and I logged in, and I was immediately stressed out. So Optics, I'm with you. I logged in, and I was
Like low key about to put
Yeah,
down
it
Carrie.
organizes your music weird.
yeah.
Is
I was
is it
what's happening?
is it still a place where you could upload something legally contentious there? Like if you did like a mashup of a Michael Jackson over a Celine Dion instrumental,
I
like
don't think
is
so.
SoundCloud still the safe spot or no?
I don't think so.
Some people, I mean, if you're like talking DJs, they do that on like, you know, the DJ
Oh yeah,
websites and
maybe
stuff.
DJ mixes can go up there. I know I
Yeah.
tried to upload an instrumental of my own that I had let an artist use, and that artist had copied from the track, and I couldn't post my own track on SoundCloud.
Oh man, hard times and killer tactics.
I
All
wanted
right,
the
so
instrumental up because the song was whack.
ooh, shots fired. All right. Figure out if you well, I guess you'll never be able to figure it out because the beat is not on SoundCloud. So
Yeah.
if you're trying to solve this mystery, you're gonna have to DM Optics or something.
Oh man.
All right, Lyric, what is your pick for what we are glad to leave behind in 2016?
That Young Thug Jeffrey cover can go.
Oh man, get rid of that shit.
Yeah,
You know
that
what?
shit
I
can.
take my pick back. I'm rolling with Lyric.
And I was very upset that everybody let that fly. Like it was just like artsy, you know, all the discourse about it was just driving me nuts. Like no. That shit was whack. That should have been on me. I should have been wearing that on the
Yeah,
red
that was
carpet.
wild.
The whole fucking umbrella, a
Yeah,
whole dress. Like
the
no,
dress. Yeah, wild. Wild.
that was flagrant. So that can all the way stay there and never come back.
Now, do you
That's the
object
end.
to it like as an aesthetic, or you object to how much discourse was like sort of strewn
Both.
around this? Both. Got it. All right.
Both. It was stupid. What are you doing? Why is that even relevant? It doesn't match your sound. It doesn't match your energy. It doesn't match what you're talking about. You homophobic anyway. So why are you even talking about like why are you even dressing like that? And
Yeah,
then the
wow.
discourse was like a hip hop discussion about how to dress and it just created all this unnecessary dialogue and it had nothing to do with the music. And no, leave that cover the fuck over there. It was just stupid. When I was looking at 2016, I was like, oh yeah, I remember absolutely hating that cover. And it
Oh
was
man.
just a blatant like cry for attention. Like, let me
Uh-huh.
just get everybody talking. Nothing, no, album covers are so important to me. Like, I think
Yeah.
album covers are as part of the album. Just the way you
Yeah,
think
I
about
agree.
mixing and mastering. The people who mix and master your project is also creative producers in a way. So when we think about hip hop and we think about impactful albums, they have impactful album covers. We know those Tribe covers. We know those, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
90s, all the golden era covers, they're art pieces now.
Yeah, for sure.
That fucking cover was just disgraceful to me and really made me hate that subgenre of hip hop even more because it was just um a laughing stock of culture with from album covers to the mumble rap era to all of that. It was just getting on my nerves. Yep, that can stay in 2016 and never show its face again.
Yo, facts.
Jeffrey.
You win.
Yeah, no, I'm not even mad at that.
Jeffrey album.
Jeffrey. This
Jeff.
is almost
I
like
gotta
when you
look at
would
this
say to him when
again
you were
just so I can be
disappointed in him,
angry.
like, Jeffrey.
Yeah, it was just stupid. Like, what are you doing?
So I have two contenders here, and they are both very contentious, and I'm trying to do the mental calculus of what would be less damaging for me to say. Okay, this is what I'm going to go with. In 2016, in 2016, I think this was actually the last one that came out. We don't need any more posthumous J Dilla albums. The last J Dilla album was The Diary, came out in 2016. I love J Dilla. J Dilla is one of the most important, music figures that exists in my world, in my development. But I think that there was a lot of drama happening at certain points between the estate, and this is like sort of documented very well in Dan Charnas's Dilla Time book. And I'm not even actually mad at the last album, which was The Diary that came out. This was the original MCA album that Jay Dilla did, and then it was shelved, and they wound up remixing some of this with different production and different producers. But I think overall, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier in talking about the Tribe album, posthumous albums are difficult to pull off. And I think that a lot of times, especially in hip hop, they are done and the quality control is not always there. So I like the Diary album. It had, Fuck the Police was on there. It had, some other cool, moments. Had some other things, like there's a Snoop Dogg and Cocaine song that was on there. And I want to say that the bonus track with Nas, The Sickness, also came from this, which is
Oh
not like
yeah.
one of my favorites, but this is not a slander on the Diary, but I just am glad and I hope that we don't see any more albums that Jay Dilla would not have wanted to come out or did not have his fingerprints on specifically.
I feel you.
I love you saying that. I'm gonna use what you just said to say I so wholeheartedly agree with you, and I have told my closest collaborators in no uncertain terms that God forbid MidaZ the BEAST meets his untimely demise early. Here are my notes. Note number, and this is for everybody to hear. This will live on in podcast space.
This is
so
legally
everybody
binding
understands.
now. Yes,
It's
this
legally
counts.
binding.
Yeah.
First of all, I want everything to come out. I bleed my archives dry. Get them out. What do I
This
give
is
a
not
fuck?
where I
I'm
thought you
dead.
were going.
Right? Like, let's be clear. I want everything to come out, but there's a caveat to I want everything to come out. I don't want you motherfuckers bastardizing none of my shit. Don't be out here remixing shit. I don't want different beats on none of these shits. I don't want remixed and remastered. I don't want odd features and we put this person on there. We put that person on there. I want everything to come out exactly the way it's sitting on my motherfucking computer. Put it out just that way. Even if it's just a demo that you do a bullshit master to. And I say that because when I hear what you're saying about the Dilla stuff, like I get so stressed about when a posthumous album comes out because I'm so concerned about the bastardization of artists' work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the going through the Tupac universe of like all those Tupac releases and Eminem
Yes.
remixes and all this shit, and I'm just like, I would never want that to happen to my stuff, you know? Like, I would never want my music to come out and there's these weird contemporary artists remixing this song that I did, and it's got like, I don't want that. So, it's not that they did a bad job with some of the the Dilla stuff. Like, I mean, it's his beats, but like it stinks because you never know if these were guys that he would have put on these records. You know what I'm saying? And like, you want to be able to honor the way that this artist made music. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really
Yeah.
hard. I
And
think it's
quite
hard.
frankly, as a producer, I think there's a lot of tracks that he would have said, like, no, those were just like sketches. Please don't put them
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Those are beat tapes. There's even songs like, the Little Brother, the song called Little Brother by Black Star. They put it out because it was his like replay of a Pete Rock interlude. And they just took the tape. They didn't even like it was just a 2-track basically. And he was pissed about that they commercially released that while he was still alive. So, I just don't think it's a good look. And funny, tying it back to something we were talking about before, Anderson Paak literally has a tattoo on his body that says, "When I die, do not put out any of my unreleased things. Keep the vault shut." Which I can relate to.
Well,
I wouldn't
that's
want you
interesting
either.
that he says that because I actually do feel quite differently. I mean, I want everything to come out. I
Yeah,
don't.
I'm about to say, like, put my shit out.
I'm bleed the archives. Put the whole shit out, everything. But the caveat is put it out how it is.
Right.
Put it out how it is. Even if that comes out as demos, put it out. Like, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Because if you never know what work you do that can inspire the next person. You know what I'm saying? So like there's probably something sitting on my hard drive right now that would be a really important record to a certain person who hasn't heard it yet because it's sitting on my hard drive. So
Right.
I like to make sure that these things come out. With that being said, don't bastardize my shit, bro. And Sean, as my brother, you're gonna be a part of my estate. So just don't let them bastardize my shit. But yeah, I feel you.
I mean, the last thing I would say is that I almost wonder if that move is going to become less and less common because the thing I'm thinking about is like the Biggie duets album and like all of
Right.
these
Yeah.
but hear me out. I wonder if those will become less commonplace because quite frankly, records are not selling as they used to. And the only reason that you would put Biggie on a song with Jagged Edge or, or somebody is that like, hey, we need to market this and service this to radio so that people will pick it up. So I wonder if there is a world where like if insert, important and creatively, respected rapper passes away in 5 years, it's not like they're going to be trying to sell, like they don't sell CDs at Best Buy, then that's like the moment of like, we got to make sure that we move units in Best Buy. So I wonder if there could be a world where it's more common to see archival releases where it's like, you're getting the untouched. This is not meant to be held up in a, contemporary pure like way with commercial music. This is just for the completists and like the deep divers who
Well,
just
it's
want to
it's it's interesting
spot,
too, Sean, because we just got two of them this year, right? We got the Mobb Deep record,
Yeah.
right, with a lot of old Prodigy, and then we got the Big L record. And the
Yeah.
interesting thing about the Big L record is there's not even no like there ain't even nothing to do. There's no Big L raps. There's nothing. Motherfuckers is pulling radio freestyles to put an
Mhm.
album out.
Yeah.
They pulled from out of their butt to put that record out because there's no he doesn't have no music. Like it's really interesting. But both of those projects live on opposite sides of the coin because the Prodigy stuff, I mean, that's part of the group, and it was all in the same vein as any. I mean, you couldn't if I wouldn't have known if I was in outer space when Prodigy passed away, and then I just came back to Earth and heard that record, you wouldn't have been able to tell me that he wasn't there to make that record.
Mhm.
You know, like it sounds like a regular Mobb Deep album to me. So it's just an interesting thing. But it's about bastardizing the music. I think that's the whole thing. It's like you can't do Biggie duets, bro. Like, nah, I'm not with it.
Somebody scream at us in the comments if we're missing a gem from Biggie duets. I haven't heard it in a while, but
Is Jagged Edge on Biggie duets?
pretty sure that they are.
Oh
Pretty sure
man,
that they are. Yeah.
nah,
The last one
tough.
that I bought was Born Again, and even that had some
Yeah,
moments where
even
I was
that.
like,
Yeah,
it
tough,
wasn't.
tough.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the Hot
Although
Boys,
we
but I didn't
did
want to
get,
hear Biggie and the Hot Boys together.
although to be fair, we did get the Eminem version of Dead Wrong, which, you know,
Yeah, no, Dead Wrong and what was the other one? Rap Phenomena. Pretty
yeah, rap
Oh,
phenomenon. I
with
mean,
Meth and Red on the Primo
yeah,
beat. Yeah, that was
yeah.
cool.
It's not
Yeah.
all bad, but you know,
it's pretty bad.
Yes.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
I've gone back to it. That's the one thing, like, you know, streaming ruined a lot of things, but that's the one thing that's cool, is being able to go back to these things we haven't listened to since like we were teenagers.
Right.
Yeah.
Just for like
okay.
an intellectual listen, you know?
All right, I'm going to close
Yeah.
out this round, the Bring It Back in 2016 round. Okay, but this is a good segue. I'm going to say the concept of commercially unconcerned side quest albums. What do I mean by that? There's one in particularly that I'm thinking about. Kendrick Lamar's Untitled Unmastered was a record that, now I'm gonna be honest. When I loved To Pimp a Butterfly when it came out, I thought To Pimp a Butterfly was better than Good Kid, Mad City. I thought it was the pinnacle of what he had done, and honestly, to this day, it is still my favorite album. A lot of people I encountered did not love To Pimp a Butterfly very much because they thought that it was sprawling, kind of tuneless, a little like meandering. My English teacher is proud of me right now that I'm using all of these vocabulary words, but that is how I initially felt about the Untitled Unmastered album. The critiques that To Pimp a Butterfly had, I thought that about Untitled Unmastered. And I was like, these are just, you know, like sketches. Like, they don't feel like fully formed songs. It's a little weird. Only in the rear view was I able to really sit and live with this album. And I'm like, this album is pretty fucking incredible. Like, there's, yeah.
I loved it immediately.
Okay.
Immediately. I was on an island. I've gotten in so many arguments about that damn album, man.
Yes.
In moment I pressed play, I was like, I know what he's doing. Like,
Yes.
mainly because I'm a Gemini. He's a Gemini. It's some Gemini shit. That's some Kanye West, Lauryn Hill. Like, our brains, I just immediately felt that. You know, it was just ideas, but it didn't fit a cohesive project, but they're joints. You know what I mean?
Right.
So much good stuff on there. And I, not to hijack your answer,
No,
I
please,
because I had the same answer. But I had a preview of it before it came out. So I thought it was gonna be a project. So I was just waiting on hands and sitting on my hands, just waiting for this Untitled, and I absolutely loved it. And he hasn't done anything like that since, which makes it even more special.
Yeah.
So fuck yeah, bring Untitled back.
Yeah, I would have been one of the people that year arguing with you if we talked about it then, but today I am totally on board with it, and I would just love to see more artists. This is tricky because a lot of times when artists do, like, we'll call them sister or companion albums that are just like, and here's all the songs that didn't make the main album. Sometimes it's like, this feels like a cash grab. You're just trying to squeeze. So I can't really articulate what makes this different, but I guess it's just that he was operating on such a high level around To Pimp a Butterfly, and he made such a, like, unapologetically bold and just like visionary, like, album that the outtakes just feel like super crazy. Like, if that album was already sprawling and kind of, you know, super creative and experimental, and like this is the stuff that was too weird for that record, like, yes, bring it on. Like, I want more artists to put out projects that are so unconcerned with like convention that he didn't even put names on the fucking
He didn't
song.
give a fuck.
Gave no fucks.
Damn. Here.
Yeah, two of my like favorite Kendrick songs on there, like what, 1 and Levitate is 6, right? 1 and 6 or 1 and 7.
I love Blue Faces. I love that song. And low key, it's kind of a Thundercat album too. Like, Thundercat is on a lot of the record. It's
he was getting deep in the bag with his co-collaborators for albums to come. Like, it just foreshadowed so much shit. Loved it.
Yes. So commercially unconcerned side quest albums is what I am
commercially unconcerned.
That is my pick. Lyric, you're up next.
I'm glad I
What?
picked the backup because that was the one for me. YG, fuck Donald Trump.
Mm.
Woo!
Oh,
Talking
We
about
need
this.
another fuck Donald Trump record. Why
yo,
is
for
everybody
real.
scared? We need
Yo,
another
for
one because
real.
that was a slapper and it was appropriate and he didn't give a fuck and I felt that and it was we need it more than ever right now. So let's bring back another fuck Donald Trump part 2. If it ain't
Yeah.
from YG, it got to be from somebody else. But I love that joint. That's one of my favorite YG joints. Especially being out here in the West Coast. I like YG a
Yeah.
lot. It's like my inner ratchet, my inner like thug. He
Right.
pulls that out of me. But love that joint. So we need another one. Bring it back.
I was literally just thinking that too. I was like, oh, that would be a good answer for this.
We need
That
another
H
one.
line, the beat's crazy. That's a great track.
What a
Yeah.
banger. To
And
like
it sounds great coming out of a phone. 2020 election, I remember I went and voted, and then when I walked out, I was just playing it and like dancing out the door and all the,
like you made
technically that's electioneering, but people thought it was funny.
like you made a banger and it was like fuck you to like just it was best of everything. Not even both
Yeah.
worlds, best of everybody's world for that. So
Yeah. I mean,
we need
does it
another.
just feel like we're not getting those? Like, it's
No.
crazy that like this, music that has so historically been like the voice of dissension and the voice of commentary is just like, I don't know if we're just numb as a society or if capitalism is just like shut up and steer clear of the crosshairs. Like Public Enemy literally put a figure in the crosshairs and nobody wants to stand in that space now. Like
Yeah,
it's
I mean
disheartening.
it's all of that. That's why I mean, of course, the YG song is a slap, but it's like that's the last song I can remember where somebody was standing on business about the politics of today and it was a hip hop joint that we all like. That year. Of course, there's subtleties in music, there's bars or a
Sure.
line, but that was blatantly, I don't fuck with you. And we all were happy to sing it. We don't have any of those anymore. And I think it's everything you said. It's just music losing its impact in that way. And also just, people are scared with the current climate right now. People are getting pulled off the streets, literally. So it's getting
Mhm.
to a point where we can't even really say what we want to say. And that used to be what we can do in our music. And it's not really being used to spread messages now. So
This is a fact.
here
I
we
mean, I
are.
also think, I have 3 kids and like, you know, 10, 14, and 18, and like music's not a big part of like their generation's life in the way it was for us and for like even in 2016. Anyway, actually I'm changing my answer.
You had that one too?
All right, what do you got, Op?
So I was gonna say drums, but
Just drums as a construct?
yeah, drums need to come back. All the artists I listen to don't have drums anymore.
You need to come over here to my world. Come over here
Yeah.
to some dance music. We
But
playing a lot of
yeah,
here.
no, so the actual thing I'm gonna say is like obviously there's youth music, but like, liner notes like that impact like kinda the like musicians not being like superheroes, but like the like music being cool for because like just seeing it, and obviously my kids aren't indicative of all kids, but like yeah, it's not as music's more of a thing that goes in the video games that they play and that
Mhm.
and um and that I think that affects the content of it just as much as maybe people being numb or afraid to say something. It's that how does that fit into how music is being consumed by that target audience that everybody's commercially trying to release. I'm not talking about like the 4 of us, but like I've seen the age breakdown to who listens to my stuff. My kids They're not, you know? So yeah, like that, what's like the simple way? Drums was such a simple answer, but I think this is actually a better answer,
I
even
guess
though I
for
didn't
musicians,
think it
like
out, so I don't have it as prepared.
music being an important component in like culture,
Youth
like
youth culture. Yeah.
it's crazy because if you had asked me in 2016, I might have said that like, oh yeah, things are not looking great now. Now it's like looking back at 2016, it was like it seems like the wonder years, and I guess maybe that's what hindsight tells
Yeah,
you,
like, you
nostalgia.
know, there's popular TikTokers, some of them make music, but yeah, music's not central to anybody that seems to be, like, popping for, like, younger generations. You know, it's kind of a
Yeah.
side, it's all non-commercial side quests.
You know what's interesting about that is I just had a really deep conversation with a friend of mine the other day because I am under the belief that 50 years into the future, music's just gonna not be that important. Um, you know, I was listening to Chuck Klosterman, our favorite person talk. You know, he's got a
Spirit
new
animal, yes.
yeah, about our spirit animal. He's got a new book about football that's out and that's coming out or it's out. And he was talking about the book and he was explaining how he didn't think that football, which is the most popular thing on the planet, he's explaining how he doesn't think football is gonna exist in 200 years or 100 years or 200 years. He's just, you know, Bill Simmons was kind of flabbergasted, like, "What? What do you mean? Like, it's football." And he was just like, "Well, history doesn't say that this is like something that's gonna happen. Like, we don't have you know, lions killing gladiators anymore. Like stuff changes, stuff goes away, stuff evolves. Like it's gonna be a different thing." And I think with music, you know, I was like I said, I was having this conversation with my friend the other day. Music was a thing that you did, and it was an experience that you had with other people. You know, like when you go back to the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and like you're going to go watch music live. Like music went from a only live thing, like the only way to experience music is live, to a I can now bring this home, you know what I'm saying? To or I can now hear it at home, to a now I can own it. Like I don't even have to wait for the DJ or the person on the radio to play. Like it's going through
Yeah,
these stages.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we're gonna get to a place, and we're kind of already in a place. Because if you talk to kids now, and I'm around a lot of kids from my day job, when you talk to kids, they don't really care about music like that. Like, they hear it, it's they have favorite songs, like, it's not that they don't like music, but they don't care about music, and that's because music is valueless to them.
Culture
It's
stopped caring. So why would they care? And they're flooded with it all the time. Like it was special to us.
yeah, because we couldn't get our hands on it like that.
Yeah, you being able to touch a new release and, like, just waiting in line. People were waiting in line for Jordans and sneakers, and we was waiting in line for the new whatever it was coming
Yeah,
on. You know, like, that experience is done. It's when things are accessible like that, you don't value
and
it. You don't see any
they got
value in it.
other shit to do. That's the part. So like some of it is music's fault, and some of it is just there's other shit to do. Like when you're I don't know, a 9-year-old kid, like you got a lot of options of shit you could do. You know what I'm
But
saying?
but music has been around. I know we're getting into a whole nother conversation.
Mm,
Music has been forever, though. Life and society has evolved since the beginning of time, and music has always been foundational, from every era, every decade, so I don't understand how this era is different than that. I mean, okay, technology evolved, but it also did in the 90s. They didn't have CD players and all that shit in the 60s and all that. We just found another way to enjoy it, So the world is going to change and evolve every time. It's not going to stay the same. But what did remain the same is live shows and buying music and supporting music. And now that's gone as far as a
mhm,
value,
mhm,
and that's scary as an
yeah.
artist, like I don't really understand. there could be a lot of reasons, but then when you think back on the yesteryear and our parents' generation and grandparents' generation, there's nothing new under the sun as far as the evolution aspect of that. There's things that they didn't have that we had, but we still loved music and found a new way to enjoy it. I mean, hip hop was born out of not having, you know?
Right.
I don't know. It's disheartening that these kids don't fuck with shit, but as a teacher now and as an educator in a college where they're going to be getting out into the world and putting out records, it just makes that's that hard work now, that important work that we have to do
Mhm.
to share all the stuff that we're talking about that they have no idea about. Like I put on the board in my first day, my first introduction, all these people that I know from Q-Tip to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis to, all these people, they knew nobody. Nobody. And that's just like a crime because 18-year-old Lyric knew these people,
Yeah.
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's our job as the elder statesmen now to do that and make them fall back in love with old school shit.
Yeah, no, it's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate that Sean and I always do the podcast because
Yeah.
like, we gotta talk about this stuff that is so important. Like,
Mhm.
if we don't keep telling people how important this stuff is by virtue of us having a debate about an album and all, like, the debate itself shows how important that the thing is to us,
Mhm.
Like, we have to talk about it or else it's gonna turn it and we gotta make it entertaining or else it's gonna turn into something that people ain't checking for because I think the biggest difference is that there's just so many options to compete for your time is what it is. It's not even, it's just like, even for me, look, I'm 41 now. I don't have the same amount of time to listen to music.
Tell me about
So,
it.
But that can be
and then some
age
of it
as
is
much
just
as it
because I
is.
got other shit to do. It's not all
Right.
major responsibilities. It's not all like life shit. Like I also want to watch my current TV show. I also want to watch like I got shit I want to do, So I think about like kids. They got shit they want to do. They got a million different influences all over the place and it's music competes for it and it's a different world. So it's a little scary, but I think this is Optics. You set him off with that one. That's ill.
Yeah. Hey,
I
just
almost wonder,
what you guys said.
not to now like live brainstorm like on air, but like thinking about like the mission and thinking about what you just said, MidaZ, and building off what Lyric said, which was building off of what Optics said. I wonder how we could better serve, like, because if we do like a podcast where we talk about a year or we do a podcast where we talk about an album, chances are, and I might be wrong, like the algorithm and the way things are found is pretty much only going to cater to the people who already know about the thing. If somebody doesn't
Yeah.
know about Q-Tip, they may not search for Q-Tip. So I just wonder how we could continue, and maybe this is like some of the work that you're doing, Lyric, is like,
Yeah.
how
Yeah, it
could we
is. It sounds
bring
like it.
it? Is there an interesting podcast where we bring an 18-year-old in and like have them ask
Yes.
questions or you know what I mean? Like,
But I think you'd
yeah,
be surprised at how much they're digging into the things. Like there's a podcast and it's not a hip hop podcast, it's just a podcast I've been listening to since its inception. What was it, 2013? Called The Read. And every now and then they'll read letters from listeners. And it's such an inappropriate show. Like it's just crazy. But there'll be listeners be like, I just graduated from high school. I'm a long time listener. And they'll talk, on air and be like, how the fuck did y'all find us? Like, what are you doing in the depths of here? So I think part of it is just us keep doing what we're doing because people are finding their tribe. I went to Serato this past week to support DiBiase's event. Shouts out to DiBiase, shouts out to Serato.
yeah.
And there was a young lady, she's 19, 20. And she came up to me. She didn't know who I was or anything, didn't expect her to. But you know who she did know? She knew who Georgia Ann Muldrow was.
Wow.
She said, oh my God, I'm such a fan. Oh my God, you know Georgia? Georgia is my OG. Like I was inspired by Georgia, and I'm
Yeah.
almost twice your age. They're
Yeah.
finding it. They're finding it, and however they are finding it, it's a different way. It's kind of some of the ways we found out about music. Our big sis, or big bro, or parents were playing the records. Like I heard from Georgia because a whole bunch of Berklee College of Music kids were playing it. it just comes through your ethos and whatever ecosystem you're in. So we got to just keep doing what we're doing and championing good shit. And it'll get to the ears. But to hear a 20-year-old kid know who Georgia was, and she dropped Odyssey, Fragments of My Earth in 2006.
Yes.
What? How do you know who Georgia is? That made my heart so full. So they're getting it. You got Tyler the Creator telling these kids to listen to more De La Soul loudly. So we just got to keep doing that. And the schools, the UCLAs of the world, they're hiring people like me. They're hiring hip hop heads. They're hiring over at Peabody. They got Lupe over there. Like,
Babu?
it's happening.
Yeah,
it's
Babu
happening.
just joined the staff there as well.
Yes.
The
Shouts
Beat
out to
Junkies.
Babu.
Yeah. And that's the college classes. That's an interesting point too, because I was just at my day job with like some like college kids that work for us, and one of them was talking about that they took a like hip hop class at the University of Wisconsin, and they started talking about Public Enemy and NWA and De La Soul to me, and then I was like, they had been playing like country music the whole day. And I was like, yo, give me the aux. And I started playing like J. Rue, OC, like all the shit I listened to then. And like, yeah, we didn't talk too much about a lot of it, but then the kid put his playlist on, and it was like, what was it? I think he played like NWA, Tupac, and fuck, what else was it? It was a long day. But like, it was like, oh, cool. Like, because he was probably born like 2004, 2005, something like that. And was telling me how exciting like Public Enemy was to him, and I wouldn't have expected that as some like white kid in Pittsburgh who was listening to country music all day. Then he starts gets all excited about Public Enemy.
Even Jeff with Playlists, like there's all these kids at Playlist. Shouts out to Playlist gang, that are just internet famous, and they're in the same room with like De La and James Poyser, and they're able to like cook up with them, and then they're gonna go home and do their homework and be like, what? And the same, right? They're about to be baby legends because Jeff has you here. You know what I'm saying? So it's not all the kids are all right. I'll say that. They're all right. It's definitely a disconnect more than it was from our generation.
I think the disconnect is the culture, not the kids, if that makes
sense. Well, that's where I was going. The issue isn't
marketplace culture.
People are gonna find things. I mean, we're still finding Zora Neale Hurston things, like
right.
Like we're still finding Edgar Allan Poe things. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna find things. Art is gonna art, but culture
art.
Culture is a different story. Culture is gonna switch. Culture is gonna switch. I'm more concerned about culture. I'm even looking back in 2016 as we were going through all of this. Like we're talking about moments. Like and most of our moments are albums. They're music, right? And we are able to have basically shared, like we're four people from different walks of life, but we're able to have these conversations because these things were big enough in culture to have conversations about them. And you can generally guess that you would know about this and you would know about this because it was culture. But it's gonna get so segmented because it's already starting to be so segmented that I'm like two people are gonna be like, I like music, you like music, and we're not gonna know none of the same music at all. It's gonna be like, yo, bro, like we don't have nothing in common here because
that's the sad part because that's what brought you together. That's what made you fall in love with somebody. That's what made you get your friends. That's what made you all want to all go out to the same spot. But at the same time, it does make it even more special when you do find somebody that likes your shit because
you're really hitting the lottery.
A little more fragmented. So it's even more rare when I find somebody who knows who Terry Hunter is. I'm like,
right.
You a house head like me and a hip hop head? Oh, we got some, that's, I'm a find hip hop heads all over the place. But if I find another nerd that likes another genre and another thing, it makes it even more of a rarity to find your tribe. So it's a yin and a yang. But I agree. That was our common place. That was literally what raised me and formulated my group of friends. And to this day, the foundation of it was hip hop and music. So
Right.
what are they doing now? Roblox?
All
They're having
right.
church in Roblox though. They over there having a good time.
Yeah, exactly. MidaZ, take us home. This should have been our
Yes, take
last
us
one
home.
because this feels like, you know,
Yeah,
a
nah,
closer, but it better be as
but I'm gonna
profound and as great as what we just did.
I'll keep it brief. But what I'll say is bring it back. And this goes, it's gonna ring like a personal pick, but you know, I dropped Loops 2 in 2016, and Loops 2 was a very important project in my catalog because I don't feel any kind of way of saying this. Like I'm a rhyming over loops pioneer in the space. Like I'm early. The details will tell themselves if you go back. And you know what's interesting when Optiks said drums, I just
Yeah,
started
I knew you'd
laughing.
take that as a shot.
Well, I started laughing because I'm just like, man, that was the year I put out Loops 2, which has
'Cause
zero drums.
we should clarify, when you say loops, obviously you're talking about taking and rhyming on loops that are not, you know, paired with
Produced.
drums. It's just
It's the
taking the moment.
sample.
Yeah.
And
The
just
sample
Just the
itself.
sample.
Yes.
looped over and over
Straight,
again.
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, but also the project was called Loops 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I was, you know, and really it was born, you know, doing that project was born out of, doing the first Loops, because Loops 2 was the second one. Although Loops 2 was a special one for me because, you know, I feel like it was a time that I leveled up and really found myself as a not a writer, but as a rapper. So the interesting thing was I could always write the ridiculous lyrics, but I don't always feel like I was the best at delivering the ridiculous lyrics that I was writing. And Loops 2 is when I really found that, like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to be rapping, like as it pertains to my voice and my cadence and my style. Like I really found it around Loops 2. But what's interesting about that whole thing is how I got started in working in the loops space and fucking with sample and shit. I've always had a old soul and a soul for samples and things of that nature. But what used to frustrate me is I would find an ill sample. Like I'm not a producer, but I would find an ill sample and then I would give it to a producer. Like, yo, this. And then they would give me a beat. And what I realized is that I didn't want a beat. I just actually wanted that. Like, and I couldn't reconcile that in my brain. Like I was just like, and then the producer would say stuff to me like, bro, you don't want me to do anything to it. Why did you even give it to me in the first place? And I'm like, you know what?
I'm
You're
not
right.
producing.
I actually don't want you to do anything to it. Give it back to me, right? Like, you know, that type of deal. Because, you know, it's funny. I got a line on my newest project about to drop that says, I hate this beat. There's no drums. So says every old head. Right, because I feel like all the old heads are they won't even listen to a song if it doesn't have drums. It's not hip hop. And I'm like, I just think hip hop comes in so many different, you know, forms, and you can enjoy it 1,000 different ways. And you know, that album for me, Loops 2, was a statement of that energy of like, nah, like you know, I don't. You can listen to hip hop and not wanna dance. Like I like hip hop that doesn't make you dance. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's all kinds of different ways, and that album for me was a statement, and that was 2016. So that's what I want to bring that energy back. So I say bring it back because I haven't done a loops project. That was the second one. I haven't done one since 2016, and I think it might be time to bring it back uh, because that energy for me is a special energy.
Love it. All right, so we'll do a quick run through here for the core of 2016. MidaZ, you went with "Life of Pablo" by Kanye West. Optiks, you went with Metro Boomin as a producer. Lyric, you singled out the passing of Phife Dawg from A Tribe Called Quest and the reunion of A Tribe Called Quest with their album. And I went with Anderson .Paak's "Malibu." For our personal picks, I went with A$AP Rock's "The Impossible Kid." Lyric, you went with the Ski Mask Way single and tour with Rod Digga. Optiks, you went with Schoolboy Q Blank Face LP, and MidaZ, you went with Westside Gunn's Fly God. For Leave It All Behind in 2016, Optiks, you went with SoundCloud Rap. Lyric, you went with Young Thug's Jeffrey cover. I went with J Dilla's posthumous albums, and MidaZ, you went with Fat Joe's All the Way Up. And then for what we want to see brought back from 2016, I went with Commercially Unconcerned Side Quest albums. Lyric, you went with YG's Fuck Donald Trump and songs of that ilk. Optiks went for the soul-searching and supreme conversation starter, music being an important tenet of culture and meaning. And MidaZ, you went with more Loops projects. Any other honorable mentions that we want to throw in before we wrap things up here?
Lemonade.
Oh, I didn't know we can do R&B and soul. I would have.
I was just throwing it. 2016.
That was 2016.
Part of the culture. Lemonade and Solange.
For sure. Yeah, they both were they both hit the billboards the same year.
Yeah, lit. Those were big.
That would have been top.
Yeah.
Oh wait, are we doing honorable mentions for each round, Sean?
Nah,
just whatever you want. Whatever you want to shout out now.
Oh wait, I'll let MidaZ finish.
I was just saying those two. In my Leave It Behind list, Sean, you were saying what else I had in there? I had Panda by Designer and Leave It.
I was about to say that.
Just leave that shit all the way in 2016.
I was about to say that as a core.
That song was huge.
That was a massive record.
It was massive. It was huge. So
one of my core picks was, this isn't like my favorite, but popular rap got lighthearted. Like I'm talking about like the Drum and Yachty, like Broccoli, Black Beetle by Ray Shremmerd, Chance the Rapper. Like a lot of the popular focused music was very more like sort of light, and then it sort of ushered in a new persona of popular artists where it's like they weren't trying to be tough, they were just very like fun. So that's one of my picks. I would also I don't know if I should say this. So like I was looking to leave behind. 2016 was a great year for Hamilton, and I did not really get into Hamilton like that. This can be, a deeper discussion. It's not any shade on Lin-Manuel. I saw Hamilton much later when it was on Disney Plus. Wasn't my favorite thing in the world, and a lot of people will tell me it is the most important thing that happened. So whatever, we can move on from that. Those are my main picks that I would leave on the table. Lyric, what do you have?
For like for like the most impactful, I thought Chance the Rapper's coloring book was crazy because speaking of SoundCloud, I mean, what? I mean,
I thought somebody was gonna put him in their list. I thought one of you guys was gonna put that in there.
Yeah, I couldn't pick that over Tribe. So
yeah,
but yeah, I think Chance. I also have number 2 was what round 2.
Personal pick.
Personal pick. I thought Views, like that was my favorite Drake album.
Yeah,
favorite Drake album.
A lot of
that makes sense.
One of them, like it had a lot of commercial joints on there that I was like, you know what? Okay, Drake.
Yeah.
Stuff that I want to leave behind. That Troy Ave fight at the fucking
Troy Ave fight.
That fucking that got him locked up and having what's his face in jail forever now. I forgot his name. I used to listen to his podcast. Yeah, I used to listen to the pod, so I was just like, damn, we just all that stupid shit in the clubs with guns and everything. We need to just leave that forever behind. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
And then I had like what we want to bring back. I had 2. I miss Smoke DZA. That Smoke DZA and Pete Rock album was fire.
Yes.
That's a peer, like we used to run around the A3Cs of things. So I really like that album. I really like the album cover. They look fly as fuck on that cover. And the album was just dope. That was one of Pete Rock's best like collab duos in recent times. And then I miss B.O.B.
Oh wow, B.O.B. Yeah.
He had us dancing and bouncing and everything. He was just so versatile.
2016?
Yeah, Elements came out in 2016. So when I was looking at the the list, I was just like, I remember that. I miss Bob and I miss Smoke DZA. They just remind me of my era of just like the South by Southwest and Optiks. Like I know you did a lot of work with John Connor,
Mhm.
so just there's the South by Southwest, the A3Cs, the festival
Mm.
era of
Oh
me.
yeah,
I think of Bob and I think of Smoke DZA a lot. So I
2016.
miss them. 10 years ago, that was like the heyday of both of those artists.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanna
I
bring
would
them, bring them back, bring them back, bring them.
I would even say that like that sparks in me. I miss those kind of scenes. Like there's not really that today. You know what I mean? Like even like Soundset, was like popping in 2016.
Soundset.
A3C, like all of these things. Like now it's if it's not Rolling Loud, like is there a
Right.
space for there's Rhyme Fest out here. Yeah, I'd like to see more and I'd like to see more regional things.
Those used to be on the calendar circled, like, "You going to A3C?"
Yes.
You text the
Yes.
homies like, "You gonna be there? You going to South by?" It was like
Yeah.
hip hop's homecoming. I used
Yes.
to always call it that. Like that was hip hop's homecoming. We all would see each other, bump into each other. We don't really have that now. So
Yeah,
The
different times.
times
that was my
are
honorable
changing.
mentions.
Those are good. Optics, any others you want to throw in?
I think we've kind of touched in some way on a lot. Like, I think kind of like I think they were good. I I didn't hate Panda for what it was, so I think they were good, like one hit wonders in 2016. Young M.A. Ooh, like
Yeah.
and like I know there was more, but there's kind of like hard New York joints that had commercial success, but also I liked. We need some more of those. We don't really.
I
If we
like a
do,
good hit record, a good commercial hip hop
yeah,
record. I mean, I
yeah,
grew up
like
on the
the new versions of like
Not
a tunnel
Midas.
banger, because like we get like like the Clips album and stuff. So like I feel like we get them, but they're more niche or they're not for everybody anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
And
look,
like
let's be clear. I like commercial hip hop. I don't like I'm
lies.
trying to make a commercial hip hop song commercial hip hop.
They was
It
doing that in the 2000s
and I
and
didn't
the 90s.
like those versions either.
Day.
I like it when you go make a song and it's like you're making it for the radio clearly, but you're not going like we're just gonna use all the elements to make it a career. Like I don't like that. And I can tell when you're just like it's like when you're like, oh, you know what? We got to get Faith Evans on this song and just go ahead and make it the joint. That's the single because it like make it more organic than that because it smells when it's not that. You can smell it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can smell them joints.
If it's
I
a jam, it's a jam. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck.
That's
If my
good.
ears like it, I don't care what the motivation was behind it.
Well, no, but that's the point. Is that those joints? My ears don't like it.
Yeah,
That's the whole deal. I'm
clearly.
just like, nah. It's like that. What was that Jay-Z joint? Sunshine. And you're just
sure.
like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a clear attempt to make a radio song.
I did not hate Sunshine as much as a lot of people did. I'm not saying it's in my top 50 J joints, but like, I don't know. It didn't bother me that much,
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
it's part of the course, man. You got to just get in there and just cook up something for the streets and for the radio. It is what it is.
Cool roller skating rink jam, like throw it on. Everybody's gonna have a good
It's
time.
It's so
never
great.
played at one
Goddamn,
roller
Midas.
skating rink.
Anyway, we appreciate you all watching, listening, however you're ingesting this. Hop in the comments and let us know what we got right, what you feel we have overlooked, or takes that you have an absolute problem with. And we will, be back and do this again. Lyric Optiks, thank you so much for joining us.
Big love.
thank you for having us.
Anything for you, Sean.